An Ontario family is calling for a public inquiry after the police shooting death of a Mississauga man. The 62-year-old died in his home last night after police responded to a call for a wellness check. But the man's family says the probe by the Ontario Police Watchdog, which is called the Special Investigations Unit, is not enough. CBC's Talia Ricci has more.
Friends, family, and community members have been rallying outside the scene here in Mississauga throughout the morning. We just heard from the family. They're calling for a public inquiry into the death of Ijaz Ahmed Chowdhury. They have a lot of questions. They say Chowdhury was harmless and he was not a threat and that this shouldn't have happened. Now, the SIU released two statements today saying officers were called to the scene here on Morningstar Drive around 5 last night to check on the well-being of a man. Officers say Chowdhury barricaded himself within his residence and that they had communication with him until around 8 p.m. when it stopped for 15 minutes. Police made the decision to enter, saying they believed he had access to weapons and was a danger to himself. The statement goes on to say that when police entered the unit, officers used a taser on the man and fired plastic bullets, and said when that had no effect, an officer shot a firearm and Chowdhury died on scene. Now, we spoke with the victim's brother as well as several of his nephews. They told CBC News that Chowdhury had schizophrenia and also suffered from other medical conditions.
Where does it make sense? Any normal person will say, no, it's not right. It's completely wrong. My uncle was harmless. He could barely he could barely take 3-4 steps. After his third or fourth step, he'd have to sit down because he couldn't breathe. You're telling me a 62-year-old man, father of 4, is gonna get up, who can barely breathe to begin with, and run and attack you in his own home where he locked and he felt safe in? How does that make sense? You're saying, oh, there was a scene between the officers and Ijaz, my mom. It makes no sense.
The family also said last night they were pleading with police to allow one of the family members to speak with Chowdhury. They said that he doesn't speak English, that his condition makes him very paranoid, and that he's afraid of police. The family said that they had also dealt with this kind of situation before. They say he leaves behind a wife and 4 children, the youngest just 7 years old. Anyone with any information or witness video is being asked to contact the lead investigator of this case. Talia Ricci, CBC News, Mississauga.